Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Did you see last week President George W. Bush was talking about the war in Ukraine, and he misspoke, and he said it was a wholly unjustified and brutal invasion of Iraq. Oopsie. Stephen Colbert said the slip of the tongue had him feeling a little nostalgic, calling Bush a man I spent many happy years pretending to like, back on the Colbert Report. W and I, for about 10 years, had so many good times together back at the old Colbert Report. I made so much fun of him, and he gave me so many reasons to do that. Jiminy Christmas, the one phrase he should definitely never utter for the rest of his life. It's like he's thinking about it all the time, and it just popped out. Seth Meyer said, oof, it's like your wife asking if you're hungry and saying, I could cheat, I mean eat. I could eat with my mistress. Corden, I hate when I mix up my unprovoked invasions. Colbert, maybe Bush is going to start admitting to everything he's been holding back. Also, I just want to say my grandkids are the one who paint the watercolors. Dick Cheney's a Terminator sent from the future, and there are no human-animal hybrids. I saw the Philly Fanatic with his head off, and I freaked out. Interesting line from John Mulaney in Netflix's The Hall, honoring the greats of stand-up. Mulaney was talking about Robin Williams and said people like to talk about comedians as if we do what we do because of some inner darkness. Mulaney said, with all due respect, F off with that S. Have a little respect for a brilliant artist who is just more talented than you. From Dextero, Joe Rogan was left flabbergasted, great word, after his dog Marshall May had their Instagram post removed for supposedly violating community guidelines. That's right, Joe Rogan's dog in trouble with Instagram. Joe Rogan posted a picture of the message Instagram sent him about post violating guidelines, and he couldn't believe what was going on. He said, I'm sure this is the algorithm or some mistake, but my dog Marshall May's post got removed for being against our guidelines on violence and incitement for a picture of the dog sitting next to a dead tarantula we found in our house. Rogan had captured the photo. Well, that's it. We're just going to have to burn the whole house down. And added a fire and screaming emoji. Joe, I feel ya. I had a strike against me on YouTube on Friday, so this podcast automatically posts to YouTube with just a still image of the logo. I had titled Friday's episode, George Carlin's American Dream, parentheses, with guest Kelly Carlin, or guest Kelly Carlin, however I phrased it. YouTube froze my video, saying the title was misleading. Look, guys, I'm not pretending I'm uploading George Carlin's American Dream. And I bet somebody else did, and they probably just flipped the image and you guys didn't caught it. I can't believe I got struck for that. I don't really care, but like, wow, algorithm, relax. Bill Burr spoke about George Carlin. CBR.com said, Carlin clips still clearly resonate with audiences. Even today, you'll see social media blow up from Carlin quotes. Burr said, I hate that. Because then what they do is they take it and they change the meaning to support their political view. A lot of people on social media become their own little CNN and Fox News and put their spin on it. You know, it's heartbreaking to see that even the person sitting at home on the couch is also full of crap. That's what you're watching. I think Carlin would probably think it was funny, or maybe he would think it was depressing. It'd probably depend on the day. I think, you know, you get to a certain age and you expected a dog to act like a dog. Yeah, sitting next to a dead tarantula getting banned on Instagram. So I try not to get worked up about it, but it's annoying to see that because there's a few of them like that. Like, that's not what the joke meant. Judd Apatow spoke to the New York Post about George Carlin's American Dream. Did you watch it? I can't hype it enough, guys. Watch it. It's fantastic. Judd said, we're so lucky because George was a bit of a hoarder and so much existed. We have his parents' divorce papers from the late 30s, his discharge papers when he was kicked out of the Air Force. He kept all of his love letters, all the Post-it notes, and notebooks of all his jokes. We have audio tapes of him writing routines and also audio tapes of him on cocaine just ranting into a tape recorder that really allowed us to paint a pretty full-blooded picture of who he was. Judd also talked about late period Carlin that I've become obsessed with. George Carlin, the great prophet of the 21st century. George, I'm sorry I thought you were angry back in 2003, 2006, whenever it was. You were right, man. Judd said, George had had several heart attacks. He was trying to get sober, and I think he was disappointed that our country was not moving in a more positive direction. He really believed our democratic values were being overtaken by business interests, and his act became more and more of a warning, and then it finally got to the point of view of someone who had said they'd given up and were just going to watch the destruction and laugh. The guy that allegedly attacked Dave Chappelle, well, this is even more serious. He's been charged with attempted murder, not of Chappelle, but of his roommate. The charges were brought against this person because the high-profile media attention the Dave Chappelle attack generated. It prompted police to look into the guy's criminal past. He has a few priors, and the victim was able to identify him as the attacker in a stabbing This incident happened with a roommate at a transitional house facility on December 2nd, 2021. Kenan Thompson is clearing the air. Samuel L. Jackson has been claiming that Sam is banned from SNL for dropping an F-bomb a million years ago. Kenan was on Jimmy Fallon the other night. So to catch you up, back in March, Samuel L. Jackson was on The Ellen Show, which was being guest hosted by Leslie Jones. Sam recalled he'd used the F-word during a live SNL sketch back in 2012. Thompson described the scene to Fallon, saying, "Sam dropped the F-bomb on the show, but he says I was supposed to cut him off before that. Thompson said the cue card only said the letter F and not the actual curse word. We kind of expected the F word out of Sam Jackson, so no harm done. Then he doubled down and said it again, and I was like, yo, my man, we got to pay for those." Kenan went on to say SNL's team would not turn away Sam Jackson, who has hosted the show once back in '98, but he hasn't been back since the F-bomb incident 10 years ago. Thompson said he's been mad at me for that, so my bad, bro. Yeah, the setup was Sam thought Kenan was supposed to step on him, like you go, "Fuh," and then somebody steps on the line. Apparently that didn't happen. He's been mad at me for that, so my bad, bro. I didn't think he was going to do it like that. Come on in whenever you want. It's Sam Jackson. Who doesn't want Sam Jackson on the show? Sam has said he recently ran into Lorne Michaels, who assured the actor, "You're not banned." Barry, which co-stars Henry Winkler. Henry's in the Mac Pack, as you know. Do you know about the Mac Pack? These are my celebrity man crushes. Let's see who's in it. It's Henry Winkler, Andy Samberg, Keegan-Michael Key, Michael Chiklis, Tom Cavanaugh from back when he was on Ed, and then he was on The Flash. And these are the celebrities I'm going to hang out with when I'm famous. It's a weird mix, I admit it. Barry, picked up for season 4 by HBO. Even the wife is catching up on Barry. The Lucille Ball Comedy Festival will return in August to Jamestown, New York. Multi-day event, August 3rd through August 7th. I was actually talking to Kelly Carlin off air when I interviewed her, and she was really talking up this festival and talking up the National Comedy Center. So I think I'm going to go up there either late July or the week of the festival and hang out and connect with Kelly and go see some shows. So August 3rd through August 7th, so far announced our Margaret Cho, Jeff Foxworthy. So that might incite me because I could get some time with Jeff, I'm sure. David Spade, Rob Schneider, and Kevin Nealon will all appear. Margaret Cho said, "I'm thrilled to be performing at the Lucille Ball Comedy Festival for the first time and excited to visit the National Comedy Center, which celebrates this art form and recognizes the importance of comedic artists whose diverse voices push boundaries and move our society forward. I can't wait to see everybody in Jamestown this summer." And that is your comedy news for today. You can follow this show for free on Apple or Spotify, wherever you get your shows. See you tomorrow.